Interparticle interactions. These are forces of attraction and repulsion which act between neighbouring particles of a bulk. They may be atoms or molecules. Let me remind you that these forces act between molecules and no chemical bonding is involved, whereas covalent bonds operate within a molecule and are mostly chemical in nature. That is, they are formed to make an entity more chemically stable. Attractive intermolecular forces are called van der Waal forces. Main types of van der Waal forces are dispersion forces or London forces, dipole-dipole forces, and dipole-induced dipole forces. Let's first look at the dipole-dipole type of force. Every atom or molecule has a positive center located close to the center of the nucleus, and a negative center which depends on the electron cloud distribution. For an atom or a symmetrical molecule like H2, both the positive and negative centers are at the same point, so they appear uncharged to an external electric field. But if it was a molecule like ICl, one of these entities has a greater affinity to electrons, so it causes the electron cloud to shift towards its direction. Therefore, the positive center and the negative center gets separated. These type of entities, which might be neutral as a whole but has a separate positive and a negative center, is called a dipole. Let's learn a bit about dipoles. We denote a dipole as a vector with its head pointing towards the positive center. It attracts dipoles that are oriented in the same direction and repels dipoles oriented in the opposite direction. Now, coming back to ICl. It acts as a dipole directed towards I. Now, it will attract another ICl molecule if it is oriented like this. This type of intermolecular attraction is called dipole-dipole interaction. Hydrogen bond is a special case of dipole-dipole interaction. It is found in polar molecules where hydrogen is bound to highly electronegative atoms like nitrogen, oxygen, or fluorine. These can occur between molecules or within different parts of a single molecule. The hydrogen bond is stronger than any other van der Waal interactions, but weaker than covalent or ionic bonds. Next is dipole-induced dipole interaction. Suppose one of the molecule in bulk has a permanent dipole and the other is not a dipole. But in the presence of a dipole, the negative center gets separated from the positive center. This tendency of dipole inducing a temporary dipole moment in its neighbouring molecule and then attracting it is called dipole-induced dipole interaction. The last one is London force. We know that particles in a bulk are in continuous state of motion and vibration. Due to this motion, the negative and the positive centers may get separated for an instant. This phenomenon causes instantaneous dipoles in such entities. This causes attraction between neighbouring particles and is called London force. This is the weakest type of interparticle attraction.